Hello, so in this video I just want to go over our sources of energy. So we can classify sources of energy as being either renewable or non-renewable. Renewable meaning that there is an unlimited supply of these sources. They're going to be constantly replaced in a short amount of time. Non-renewable means that there's a finite or a fixed amount of these sources. So at some point we're going to run out of them and we're not going to be able to use them anymore. So the renewable sources of energy include the sun or solar power. Maybe you're familiar with solar panels that have gone up around your neighborhood recently. Or even if you remember the solar panels that were at the Liberty Science Center, they have a lot of them around their building and on their building. There's also wind power. So windmills, wherever there can be a lot of wind. Open large areas are typically where you'll find these windmills. We have water or hydroelectric power. So we'll typically find hydroelectric power plants near places like waterfalls and also wherever there's a great deal of movement, so possibly like by the coast, to get the power just from the moving water and generate that into electricity. We also have biomass. So what biomass is, essentially, people can take things like wood, leaves, grass clippings, food waste, manure, collect all these things together, burn them, and then that converts it into a fuel that we can use. And then the last renewable source of energy is known as geothermal energy. And what this is essentially people can dig underground to pockets that are being heated naturally by the magma at the center of the earth and use that heat and steam to create energy. So there we have our 5 sources of renewable energy. Non-renewable energy. So the 3 biggest types of non-renewable energy are also known as fossil fuels. These include coal, petroleum, and natural gas. So as I mentioned, these are also known as fossil fuels, and this means that they come from once living animals or organisms that have since passed several thousand years ago. And at some point, we are going to run out of these sources of energy. That's why they're called non-renewable sources of energy. And for the most part, these non-renewable forms of energy also happen to be the sources of energy that create the most pollution when we're using them. So you're probably familiar with the words pollution and smog. All these are created by the use of these fossil fuels. Another source of non-renewable energy is uranium and plutonium. So uranium and plutonium are naturally occurring elements, and they are the source of nuclear energy. So you can take just a little bit of uranium or plutonium, it'll undergo nuclear fusion, and then we have nuclear energy. But there's a limited supply, and so therefore it's considered a non-renewable source of energy. It is cleaner compared to our fossil fuels, but there are also some more dangers involved when we're using uranium and plutonium. But we'll talk about those later on in class. So there you have the 2 sources of energy.